The air around her was thick. Not from smoke or dirt, but from her. People didn't just ignore her. They avoided her like she was diseased. Even street dogs sniffed and walked away. Parents pulled their children close when she passed. Some held their breath. She sat under a broken neon sign in the darkest corner of the city. Her skin was coated in filth. Her hair looked like wires dipped in oil. Her clothes hadn't been washed in weeks. Her smell was sharp like a mix of garbage, chemicals, and something rotten. Something not human. She didn't speak. She didn't cry. She didn't beg. She just sat, silent, waiting for what she didn't even know anymore. Her name was forgotten. She hadn't heard it in years. Night after night, the city lights blinked above her. Ships flew past, but never landed near. Cameras pointed away when they saw her. And though she was surrounded by millions, she was utterly alone. Her nose didn't even notice the smell anymore. But she saw their faces. Disgust, fear, pity. She was used to it. One day, a gang of kids threw food at her, not to help, just to mock her. Half-eaten burgers, moldy bread, some kind of alien meat that buzzed with flies. "Eat it, stink girl," one shouted, laughing. "Bet she's not even human," said another. She didn't move. She didn't blink. She didn't speak. Later that night, she curled near a warm air vent behind a diner. It was the only warmth she ever got. The kitchen smells mixed with hers still. No one came close. Even rats stayed away. Then something strange happened. Boots stopped right in front of her. Not running past. Not stepping back, just stopping. She looked up slowly, eyes squinting under dirty lashes. A man stood there, human, tall, rough beard, old jacket. He held a paper bag in one hand, steam rising from it. "You hungry?" he asked. She stared. "Here," he said, kneeling down slowly. He placed the bag near her feet. "I bought extra." Her stomach twisted, not from fear but hunger. A smell came from the bag she hadn't felt in years. Real food, warm, fresh, not trash. She waited. Maybe it was a trick. Maybe he'd laugh and walk off like the others. But he didn't move. "Go ahead," he said, his voice calm. "I'm not here to hurt you." Her hands shook as she opened the bag. A sandwich. Real bread. Cooked meat, cheese. Her mouth watered. Before her brain could stop it, she bit into it, and tears ran down her cheeks. Her body shook. No one had fed her like this in forever. He sat on the ground next to her. Didn't cover his nose. Didn't flinch. He just watched quietly. After a while, he spoke again. "What's your name?" She looked at him, lips trembling. Her voice came out like a whisper. I don't remember." He nodded. "That's all right. You don't need one right now." She blinked. This man wasn't scared. He wasn't even curious about why she smelled so bad. He was just there. "Why are you helping me?" She finally asked. He shrugged. "Because no one else will." A long silence passed. Then he stood up. "I live a few blocks from here. Got a shower, soap, clean towels, and more food." He paused. "If you want to come." Her heart raced. Was this a trap? Or was this real? She looked down at herself. She was filthy. Smelled worse than any living thing. Why would a man like him want her in his house? "I smell," she whispered. He smiled gently. "That's not you. That's your story." He offered his hand. "Let me help change it." Her eyes widened. Her fingers twitched. No one had touched her in years. She stared at his hand like it was a weapon, or a gift. She had a choice now. Run. Or trust. She reached out. Asterisk. She hadn't seen water this clean in years. Not in a bottle. Not in a gutter. Not in a bucket from the back alley. This was falling from a pipe in the ceiling, warm, clear, and endless. It made noise like gentle rain, except steady, controlled, inviting. She stood in the middle of a tiny bathroom, eyes wide. She was afraid to step closer. The human man stood in the doorway, careful not to come too near. "I'll wait outside," he said calmly. "There's soap, towels, clean clothes on the chair. No one will come in." He closed the door softly behind him. She was alone, and trapped. Her breathing grew shallow. Her fingers touched the silver handle on the wall. It felt like touching alien tech. She turned it just a bit and flinched when water burst out again. She backed away, nearly slipped. Water, in her life, meant pain. Ice-cold rivers during storms. Dirty canals where other homeless beings fought over washing time. Showers she had only seen in ads, not for people like her. Not for the stinking, the cast out, the ruined, but now. This was hers? She stepped forward slowly. Steam filled the room. The smell of the soap hit her, and she gasped out it was sweet. Not rotten, not acid. Not sour like her skin had become. Tears welled up again, uninvited. This was just water. Just a room. Just silence. But her heart raced like she was in danger. The first drops hit her shoulder. Warm, not hot. Not cold. Her body froze. Then, a memory slammed into her like a crash. Hands pushing her into a water tank. Screams. Laughter. Her own voice choking. Her body trembling from the ice water they used to clean the failures in the refugee camp. She pressed her back against the wall, chest heaving. Then she heard it. His voice. From outside. Soft. Calm. "You're okay." Just 2 words. She closed her eyes, breathed. Again and again. And then stepped into the stream. The moment the water touched her full body, it felt like something was melting. Not the dirt something. Inside. Her skin began to burn. Not from the heat but from layers peeling off. Dirt, oil, old pain. The scent that had been her curse began to slide down the drain. She scrubbed it hard, harder. Her fingers ached. Her nails bled. But she didn't stop. She wanted it gone. All of it. Hours seemed to pass. When she finally turned off the water, she was shaking, her skin pale but glowing. Her hair no longer black from filth, but soft green with silver strands. Her eyes in the mirror deep blue, not dull gray. She looked alien, not like the humans, not like the others from her camp either. She had never seen her true reflection before. She touched her face, scared. "Is this me?" She wrapped herself in the towel. The clean clothes were warm, soft, real. She didn't deserve this. Not yet. When she opened the door, he was still there. Sitting on the floor, reading something on a datapad. He looked up. And didn't speak for a moment. "You look different," he finally said. "I am," she replied. Then she hesitated. "There's something you should know," she said, her voice low. "The smell, it wasn't just from being dirty, it was put on me. Like a tag." He blinked. "What do you mean?" She stepped forward and pulled back her damp hair. Behind her ear, under her skin, was a faint mark. A glowing chip, barely visible. "They did this, so I'd never be touched, never be saved. They said if anyone got close, they'd suffer too." His face darkened, not with fear, but anger. "Who's they?" he asked. She looked away. "The ones who made me. The ones who still hunt me." Cliffhanger ending. Suddenly, outside the window red lights flashed. A scanner passed over the building. Her eyes widened. They found me. He had seen aliens before, worked beside them, fought beside them, but never one like her. She sat on the floor, knees pulled to her chest, still wearing the clean clothes he gave her. Her hair was wet, strands of silver sticking to her face. But it wasn't her face or her body that made him pause, it was the glow. Her skin shimmered in the dark, not strong. Just faint pulses under the surface, blue and gold, soft like starlight. It wasn't dirt. It wasn't light from the window. It was coming from inside her. "You're not just some refugee," he said quietly. She didn't answer. "You're not just some poor alien girl with bad luck." Still no answer. He knelt beside her. "So what are you?" Her eyes met his. Don't know anymore, she said, but I wasn't always like this. She looked around the room. Everything felt too clean, too kind. It didn't match the memories in her head. They changed me, she said finally. Not just my smell, not just my body, they changed everything. My memories, my emotions, even my voice. He listened, silent. I used to sing, she whispered, like confessing a crime. Now I barely speak. He leaned forward. Who changed? You? She looked down, her voice low. A lab. A facility outside the city. They called it a protection program, but it wasn't. They used chemicals, implants, sound waves. I was an experiment. They wanted to make undesirable aliens invisible, untouchable. He clenched his jaw. He'd heard whispers of such programs. Secret, illegal tests done in the name of human safety, but this was real. This was in front of him, breathing. She pulled up her sleeve. Along her arm were faint scars and a pattern, too even, too exact. They didn't let us die, she said. But they didn't let us live either. I ran when the guards got lazy, crawled through vents, trash tunnels. That was 2 years ago. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. You were living on the streets since then? She nodded, because they made you smell bad, so no one would help? She nodded again. He stood and started pacing. Do you have any proof? Of what they did to you? She shook her head. They wiped us clean before release. But sometimes, when I sleep, I dream of the lab. I see flashes, screens, needles, men in masks. I wake up with pain in places I can't explain. Suddenly, she looked up. But there's one thing I kept. She reached into her pants pocket, pulled out a small metal piece thin, like a chip butt. Broken. This was under my skin. I tore it out a year ago when it started burning. I think it was a tracker. He took it carefully, holding it in a cloth. I know someone who can look into this, he said. But if this is what I think it is, they'll want it back, she swallowed hard. They already found me once. He turned and looked out. The window. The red scanning lights from earlier were gone, but they left a trail. Someone had been searching, and they weren't done. He turned back to her. Listen, you can stay here. For now. But if they're tracking you again, we have a problem. She nodded slowly, eyes full of fear and shame. I don't want you to get hurt, she said. He crouched beside her, serious now. Let me be clear. I'm not scared of them. I'm scared for you. You were never meant to live like this. What they did to you. It's a crime. She didn't speak. Then slowly she asked, Why are you helping me? His reply was simple. Because you remind me of someone I couldn't save. Cliffhanger ending. A soft beep came from the hallway. He grabbed his weapon. She stood up, trembling. The co-fendling. Door creaked. Footsteps. Someone was in the building. Asterisk. The intruder didn't break the door. He used a KEYCARD. The man Eli knew that sound. Quiet beep. A pause. Then a soft click. Not a thief. Not random. This was someone with clearance. He motioned. To her, no words. She nodded and slipped into the hidden storage space under the kitchen floor. He pulled the cover shut just as the door creaked open. A tall man stepped inside. Sharp suit, gloves, a faint smile. Well, he said, scanning the room. Still the same. You always did like quiet places, Eli. Eli didn't move. You're not welcome here. The man shrugged. You know how it works. The girl left a chemical trail. You picked her up. We picked you up. Simple math. He took a slow step forward. I'm here to take her back. Under the floor, she trembled. But not from fear, from recognition. That voice, that tone, that cold smile. She had heard it before. From behind thick glass, inside the lab. Smell is identity, he used to say, and you smell like nothing we want to keep. Her fists clenched. Upstairs, Eli held his ground. She's not property. She's not your experiment. She's a danger, the suited man replied. Her scent markers weren't just to repel. They were to control crowd behavior, set off alarms, even cause panic in some species. You think it was just for shame? Eli's face darkened. She's living proof, the man continued, of something we were never supposed to do. That's why she can't be out. In the hidden compartment, her breathing quickened. It wasn't just smell. They turned her into a weapon. That's why even animals ran. That's why crowds would grow restless when she was near. Why babies cried. Why people got headaches. It wasn't natural disgust. It was programmed rejection. She was built to be alone, engineered to be hated, and they weren't afraid she'd die. They were afraid she'd talk. Suddenly, a loud crash. Upstairs, Eli had knocked. The man against the wall. I don't care what she was built for, he growled. She's alive. She deserves better. The man wiped blood from his lip. You always did have a hero complex. He dropped a small tracker on the floor. It blinked red. You've got 12 hours before the others come. If she's not turned in. He didn't finish the sentence. He just walked out. Door closing behind him. Eli opened the floor hatch. She crawled out, pale but calm. You knew him? She asked. He nodded. He used to be my partner in government cleanup ops. Labs. Black sites, secret programs. I thought we were doing good work. She looked away. You helped build places like the one I was in? No, he said quickly. But I looked the other way. I told myself it wasn't my job to question. Silence stretched. But you're questioning it now, she said. I'm done hiding, he replied. She held out the broken chip again. Can this still be used? Maybe, he said. I know a contact, off-world. She might be able to scan it, decrypt the data. Her eyes narrowed. Then we go to her. Eli paused. It's dangerous. They'll chase us. They'll try to kill you. I was dying every day on the street, she said. That wasn't life. Cliffhanger ending. Outside the apartment. 3 shadowy figures watched the building. One held a scanner. She's still inside. But not for long. The knock wasn't loud. It was calm. Polite. But it was too calm, too perfect. The kind of knock that didn't ask for entry. It announced authority. Eli didn't move. She stood near the hallway, holding her breath. Her wet hair clung to her cheek. Her new clothes felt heavy, now too clean for what was coming. The second knock came. Knock. Then a pause. Then a voice. Open the door, Eli. We know she's in there. He stepped away from the door and looked at her. We run? She asked. He shook his head. Too late. His hand slid under the kitchen counter. A hidden button. A soft click. Behind her, part of the wall shifted open. Tunnel, he said. Emergency route. It'll take you to the lower zone. No cameras, no scanners. Find Mara. She know what to do with the chip. She stared at him. You're not coming? He glanced at the door, then at her. They're not here for both of us. They just want you. I'll buy you time. But she didn't move. You don't understand, she said. They'll kill you. You helped me. That's enough for them. I've made peace with that, he said. Go. She hesitated, then took a step toward the tunnel. Boom. The door burst off its hinges. Smoke exploded through the front room. Red lasers scanned the air. Voices shouted, "Target inside." "Isolate and capture." Eli grabbed his sidearm. Fired twice. Someone dropped, but more footsteps came fast, armored, trained. She looked back. Ayla's face was already bruised. A baton hit him in the ribs. He grunted, but stayed on his feet. "Go." He yelled again. She ran. The tunnel was dark, cold, but safe for now. Her feet pounded on the metal steps. Every sound echoed like gunfire. But she didn't stop. Couldn't stop. Behind her, the last thing she heard was Eli's voice. "You'll be more than what they made you." Then, silence. The tunnel led her out through a hidden grate, 4 blocks from the outer market. Neon lights buzzed overhead. The city kept going, uncaring. Crowds moved, laughed, fought while a life or death hunt was happening below. She pulled her hood low and blended in, but the chip in her pocket burned. Not physically, but with meaning. She now knew why she had been hated. She now knew what they were hiding, and she had one goal now: get to Mira, unlock the truth, and burn the ones who did this. Meanwhile, back in the apartment, Eli lay on the floor, bruised, barely conscious. Blood trickled from his temple. A boot pressed down on his chest. The suited man from before stood above him. "You let her go." Alele smiled through broken teeth. "She was never yours." The man crouched. "She's not just a girl. She's a blueprint. A walking formula. If that chip gets decoded," Eli chuckled, "then people will know what monsters you really are." The man stood. "We'll find her. We always do." He turned to his team. "Send the drones. Lock the sector. She's glowing now. She can't hide for long." Cliffhanger ending. In a far-off alley, Mira looked up from her workbench as her device blinked. A voice crackled through. "She's coming to you, and they're right behind her." Myra didn't ask questions. Not when the girl showed up bloody, exhausted, and glowing faintly under her skin. Instead, she locked the door, pulled down the blackout curtains, and said, "Sit, show me what you brought." The girl handed her the broken chip. Myra's eyes narrowed. "You tore this from your body?" She nodded. "I didn't want them to find me, but they did anyway." Mira didn't speak. She turned and connected the chip to an old illegal dataport off-grid tech, outlawed by every clean system in the galaxy. It buzzed with life. "What's your name?" Mira asked without looking up. "I don't have one," the girl said. "You will when this is over." As code filled the screen, Myra's face changed. Not fear, not shock, but recognition. "These aren't just scent markers," she whispered. "This is behavior design. Chemical obedience. You were engineered to trigger fear and absorb it." The girl's breath caught. "Absorb?" Mira nodded. "They tested on many. You were the only survivor. They didn't mark you to punish you. They made you a mirror. Your body takes in emotions, then reflects them stronger." The girl's hands trembled. "Then why did Eli help me?" Mira finally looked at her. "Because he used to help them." Silence. Then the girl stood. "No, he couldn't have. He's kind. He saved me." Mira nodded. "Yes, but before that, he was part of the very program that built you. He handled security for Black Division labs. He guarded the doors." The girl felt dizzy. "No. He said he didn't know." "He didn't," Mira said. "Not everything, but he knew enough to leave. To run, and now he's paying for it." Back in the city, Eli hung suspended between 2 steel bars in a black cell. His jacket was gone. His face bruised. Blood dripped from his fingers. The suited man entered again. Calm as always. "You know she exposed it all," Eli muttered. "She'd try," the man said. "But the world doesn't care. They smell something bad, they run. That's what we taught them. That's what she is." Eli smiled, even through the pain. "She's more than that now." In Mira's lab, the girl whispered, "He didn't run from me, even when I stank. Even when I didn't speak." Mira opened a small locker and pulled out her wristband. "What's that?" "A filter. It'll help you control your signal. Cloak your scent signature. Only lasts an hour or 2, but it'll be enough to move." "To where?" Mira pointed to the map on her screen. "Black Division's main data core, all their files, every experiment, every victim. And the backdoor code to shut them down." The girl nodded slowly. "And Eli?" Mira handed her a small pulse weapon. "If he's still alive, you'll need this to get him back." Cliffhanger ending. Outside Mira's safe house, 3 black drones hovered silent, invisible to human eyes. One sent a message to command, target located. Prepare for silent strike. She didn't sneak into the facility. She walked in, head up, eyes forward. Cloaked only by Myra's scent-dampening band and her own rage, the guards didn't recognize her until it was too late. The moment one scanned her face, the alarm screamed. But she was already inside. This time, she wasn't hiding. This time, they would smell fear. She moved through cold white corridors like a ghost from their past. Labs where her kind were bathed in acid to clean them. Chambers where children cried from invisible gas trials. Screens showing blueprints her body, labeled as successful deterrent prototype. She didn't flinch. In her hand was the pulse weapon. On her wrist was the timer Myra's band was running out. And somewhere in the belly of this lab, Eli was waiting. Inside a holding cell, Eli was barely conscious. He'd been beaten, but not broken. He kept thinking of her how she had changed, not just her skin or smell, her eyes, her voice. She had found herself, and now she was coming back. He smiled. They don't know what's coming, he whispered. The moment the power cut out, the whole facility shook. Doors unlocked. Lights died. Screens exploded with static. And then her voice echoed through the halls. Not screaming. Not crying. Just one calm sentence. This is for all the ones you made stink until they disappeared. Then the fire alarms went off. Not from fire, but from truth. Myra's upload had finished. Every file, every experiment, every dirty secret now spreading through the net. Across systems. Across galaxies. The story of the girl no one would touch was now touching everyone. She reached Eli's cell last. He looked up, barely able to see through the smoke. Am I dreaming? He asked. No, she said, breaking the lock. But we're leaving like it's one. He chuckled. You smell normal, she smiled. For now. They ran side by side through the collapsing hallway. Sirens screamed, drones dropped, guards shouted. But none dared stop her. She wasn't scary anymore. She was free. Weeks later, news screens lit up with headlines. Illegal scent control. Program exposed. Human and alien whistleblowers reveal shocking lab abuse. Survivor speaks out. They made me smell like a monster. People watched, cried. Some turned away. But they couldn't unsee the truth. Eli sat on a bench near the city park. Cleaner now, healthier. He watched kids play some alien, some human. No one cared who smelled like what. She walked over, now wearing clothes of her choice. Hair brushed. Skin glowing faintly in the sunlight. She sat beside him. They're asking for my real name, she said. He looked at her. Do you remember it? She shook her head. But I want to choose one, he smiled. Then choose something that means you're here now, that you're not running anymore. She thought for a moment. And whispered something in a language not even he recognized. What does it mean? He asked. She looked at him, eyes soft. It means freedom.